Greetings, everyone. I'm going to try to make this very brief. Um, I promised that I was going to share this dream with you. In fact, this should have been shared early this morning, but because I got sidetracked, I end up addressing something else. But in this dream, I am in Jamaica. I'm in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, Jamaica. And I'm walking on the Spanish Town Bridge with my friend and my cousin. When we were standing on the bridge, it was so weak. Every time we move our step, we felt like the wood beneath our feet was going to break. And when my friend leaned against the rail of the bridge, it almost broke with her. So she jumped back when she felt like it was coming loose. And when she jumped back, a big board beneath her feet just broke and left a empty hole. And so every time I move or every time we moved, we felt it collapsing more. And before we could say anything to each other, the whole thing collapsed. Now, if you are in from Spanish Town and you know where the Cobre Bridge is, you know how scary it is. When I lived there, I was always so afraid to walk on that bridge because you could see through the rails, and I can't remember if you could see below you as well. But anyway, in the dream, the whole bridge came crumbling, crashing down, and we were plummeting to the valley, way down to the ground. Well, imagine plummeting from this bridge made from wood. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere came a yellow chair just floating. So we are crashing down, and all of a sudden, this chair was floating. Let's say this is the back of the chair, and you have the part where you sit. So I was behind it, crashing down. I grabbed onto it, swing my body this way, and stood on the seat. And as I was doing that, I was standing on the seat. The chair was just floating like how you'd see a spacecraft. And below, I saw my friend hanging on for dear life onto a ledge way below where the bridge was, but still far away from the water beneath it. And so the chair that I'm standing on is floating until it gets to where she's at. Because I'm thinking I'm going to put my hand out and I'm going to raise her up to join me on the chair. But the chair went all the way down to the almost to the ground level where she was above, standing on that ledge. And I said to her, "Did you fall all the way from the top to here?" And she said, "Yes." And then when I looked closely, she was almost on the ground. And so she stepped down and I stepped down with her. I'm going to try to keep this very brief. When I came out of immediate danger, we continued on our journey. And we get to this location where I see this older woman. And she was telling me, I'm not going to share all of the dream. She was telling me something that I needed to do. Now, here's why this dream is very significant for me. When I woke up, I could clearly see this as what appeared to be like an earthquake or some kind of natural disaster that caused this huge bridge to just crumble and sent us free falling. And if any of you have dreams where you're falling, you know how scary that is. Extremely scary. When I woke up, I was trying to catch my breath. That's how scary this is. And so there's something about that chair that was floating, that yellow. It was golden. It was very bright yellow that was just floating just in time for me, to swing on and to catch myself. That dream in itself is not a terrible dream in terms of my escape and how I, you know, didn't fall and succumb to any injury. but it's a warning also. Not necessarily a warning, it's a premonition of what is to come. The crumbling of uh, buildings or structures that are necessary. But as always, as is the case in the last 3 years or so, there will always be an escape for Yah's people. There will always be something to catch you when you fall. And so, for that aspect of it, we were saved, we were safe, and the instruction came, and I know what I'm supposed to do. But I'm sharing it with you guys because, again, it's another way for me to document this and to keep it just for me to pay careful attention. Now, there's a scripture in the Bible, Habakkuk. It's chapter 2, verse 2. And it says, when you get a dream, you write it down. You run. This is why I don't take my dreams for granted. This is why I'm very cautious. This is why when I see people in my vision and it's disturbing, I usually try to, give them a heads up or whatever, but I won't be doing that anymore. I'll be sharing it, share what I see, and so this vision for me is very concerning. And like I said, when I woke up, I clearly and distinctly get the feeling that this was Spanish Town. The two persons that I was with was in Spanish Town, and perhaps that's why I'm thinking this is where this is going to happen or take place. Because the two persons, my cousin and my friend, they're both from Spanish Town. And then I saw the bridge, even though the bridge is not made from wood, but that is symbolic too. A structure that is unstable I was standing on, and how I found myself in grave danger, but there was an escape. I'm grateful for that. But the more concerning part of it is when I got to the area where everybody was out in the street. They were at what looked like a club, and they knew that something severe or serious was happening. And so this old woman in the dream, she's not that old, but this woman in the dream, gave me instruction of what I needed to do, to be safe. That's all I'm going to say about that situation. Pay attention to your dreams, guys. Write them down. The only dreams I don't write down are the ones that are really horrible. Because there are certain dreams, when I get them, I know for a fact, not if, but when this will unfold. And so sometimes I don't write those ones down, to be honest with you. Our ancestors come to us in dreams and they show us sometimes things that are going to happen. Sometimes they happen exactly the way we dream them. And then there are times when they come to you like symbols, they come to you in a way that this burnt sugar represents something else, or clothing represents something else, or hair. Let me tell you something. For that dream that I talked about in the other video, hair is never a good thing. Hair is a sign of sickness. That wig with the long white hair that woman was wearing, it denotes sickness. No if or and. Terrible sickness. All right. So sometimes our dreams, when they come, we can do things to avert certain things if they're warning, especially if it's your ancestors that come to show you these things, or they show you food. Sometimes you're sick and they're trying to tell you what you need to consume to help you, take care of whatever sickness is in your body, or what vitamins you need and the kind of food you can get them from. It's just the world of dreams is so fascinating. And as I said, and maybe one Spirit Monday, I will share some examples of close encounters and how Spirit comes to just teach me and show me. I'm just so blessed. I feel so blessed. This is why, when people act the fool and try to insult me, and, when I'm there trying to share something with them and they think they're all that and then some, listen, we're governed. We are governed. And if you could see with your naked eyes certain things, I don't think you could handle it. I'm going to end this here for now. Stay blessed, everybody.